All right, today we're pulling back the curtain on the AI you use every day. Things like ChatGPT. We're going to turn you from just a casual user into a skilled operator who can get exactly what you need every single time.
So, you've probably asked an AI a question before, right? Maybe for homework or to help you write an email. But are you asking in the right way? Let's dive into this, because by the end of this explainer, you're going to be able to totally control the conversation and unlock the real power of these tools.
Okay, first up, let's clear up what is probably the biggest point of confusion out there. What's the real difference between the powerful engine under the hood and the car you're actually driving?
So here's the crucial point. GPT is the engine. It's the powerful underlying technology that can do all sorts of language tasks. ChatGPT, on the other hand, is the application. It's the user-friendly car that's built on top of that engine, and it's been specially tuned for conversation.
Great. So we know the difference between the engine and the car. Now, let's look under the hood at the different types of engines, or models, that power these incredible tools.
Each of these models has something called a context window. The easiest way to think of it is like the AI's short-term memory. It's measured in tokens, which are basically just pieces of words, and the size of that window determines how much information the AI can actually handle at once.
And this number really shows you the sheer scale we're talking about with a model like GPT-4 Turbo. Its memory, at 128,000 tokens, is just massive. To put that in perspective, that's like being able to process and remember everything in a 300-page book in a single ongoing conversation.
Okay, so we've got a powerful engine, we've got a huge memory. How do we actually steer it? Well, this is where a really fascinating skill called prompt engineering comes into play.
It's really less about just asking a question and more about carefully engineering a request. You become the architect of the conversation. Let's take a look at 3 fundamental ways to do this.
Now, this is what most of us do. It's called a zero-shot prompt. We just ask a direct question, we don't give it any examples to work with. And while this gets you a factual answer, the result is often, well, pretty generic. It lacks any specific style or depth.
But now, watch what happens when we level up to a one-shot prompt. Here, we give the AI just one little example of the style and the detail we're looking for. And that simple addition acts as a guide, and suddenly we get a much richer, more descriptive, and way more useful answer.
So you can see how this works. As you move from zero-shot to one-shot and then to few-shot, where you give it several examples, you're basically training the model right there inside your prompt. You're giving it more context, and that helps it give you a far more accurate and nuanced result.
Okay, you've got the basics down. Now let's move on to a couple of pro-level techniques that can unlock some truly sophisticated and pretty impressive results from the AI.
This first one is one of my favorite techniques because it's so incredibly powerful. Instead of just talking to a generic AI, you use what's called a system prompt to tell it who to be. This simple instruction completely changes the tone, the style, and the depth of its response.
And here is the proof. When we assigned the role of a top consultant and then asked for a business plan, we didn't just get a simple list of ideas. No way. We got a structured, professional-grade strategic outline, complete with sections for market research, tech development, and marketing.
Okay, this next technique almost feels like a magic trick, especially when you're trying to solve logic puzzles or math problems. It's called chain of thought prompting, or COT for short.
This here illustrates a really common problem. When you give a complex question to an AI with just a standard prompt, it can rush to a conclusion and, well, it gets the answer wrong. But if you use a chain of thought prompt by adding one simple phrase, you force the AI to slow down, to show its work, and to reason through the problem, which leads it to the correct answer.
This is it. This is the magic phrase. Just adding "let's think step by step" to the end of a complex question triggers the AI's internal reasoning process. It is an incredibly simple way to dramatically boost the accuracy of its answers.
And there you have it. You've officially gone from being a passenger to being a driver. By understanding the model you're using, assigning it roles, and guiding its thought process, you're no longer just getting answers. You are engineering outcomes. So the real question is, what problem will you solve first?